Right, to round off this special edition of Inside Devils and Gooners, we're going to have a quick fiery questions into the room. We're going to add them in to see what happens. It's going to go fine. Everyone's going to be honest. Everyone's not going to try and point score. Everyone's just going to give their, true opinion. This is interesting. Who has had the most disappointing season? Man United or Arsenal? The floor is open.
Wow,
don't all rush at once.
Do you know what? Do you know what? You know I don't want to rush in because I'm disappointed with our season. I'm extremely disappointed with our season. Yeah. So I mean, how can I say Arsenal, who briefly looked like they were going to win the title, have had more of a disappointing season? However, when it's all said and done, we're probably going to win the same thing, which
No. We'll get the Europa League and they'll win nothing.
We could win the Europa League. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, yeah. So in terms of ambition. Maybe you guys are more disappointed because you thought for a second you could be in a title race and you've quite quickly faltered away.
Yeah, but so if us finishing second is more disappointing than you finishing 14th, what has happened to Manchester United?
Yeah,
as a football, if that is less disappointing than us finishing second, don't get me wrong, we are disappointed. Going into next season, are you excited?
Well, no. But then, you're just going to finish in a Champions League spot to not win the Champions League again, really. So it's, I don't know. I think I'm disappointed, but I think in terms of your ambitions, you guys surely, you guys fell off quite quickly.
There are problems. And there are problems. The problems that we have right now, maybe we don't attack centrally enough and don't penetrate the back line. You know what? It's really upsetting, right? Really upsetting. We've got some Champions League money coming in the summer. It's our second year in now. We're probably going to buy a few players and maybe fix that. So, yeah, we'll go again next year. The age profile of our squad is quite good. The squad value is quite good. The wages are well managed. OK, we could do a bit better. We could sharpen up. We need to underpin our striker. We need to make sure we get rest Bukayo Saka. But then we look to Manchester United. And this is not the Manchester United I grew up with. This is not. This is not the Manchester United I grew up with. And so I would definitely say this has been a revealing season for Manchester United. It's almost been like you've been running trials on the pitch to see who can go with the squad, go next year, and you're going to have to turn over that squad. But your owners distressed some of your assets in the last day or so. It's going to be a challenging season, revealing season, and see what happens next year.
If Man United win the Europa League, and I get to come to you in the summer, Clive, and say, it's in the Champions League, from 15th, by the way, from 14th, I'll be saying, where do you fancy going then? Where are you going to be going in the opening, in this league format? I fancy going Bayern Munich. Do you want to go Bernabeu? If I get to say that to you, and you've won nothing this year, what would the perception be then?
If you win the Europa League, and fair play to you, you've managed to shortcut a disastrous situation. A disaster.
Would that be a better season than Arsenal?
Yeah, if we had a better season.
I think it'll be absolutely massive for you. Massive for you. That money, I looked at our balance sheet the other day and there was over £90 million from the Champions League last season. You could do that right now, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
So I can't, that is success for you. Absolute success. I don't mean to patronise when I say it.
No.
That is success. Massive success. What we're doing, we may be falling away this year, taking a step backwards. Most of it's explainable. Let's see what lessons we learn to go again next year. That's where I am.
So not really. Didn't say which. Would that be a better season than Arsenal's?
I think it'd be a really good season.
Rory, if you saw us win the Champions League, we'll be in it first. We definitely won't win that. If you saw us win the Europa League this year,
have we had a better season?
And you win nothing?
No.
And you go out in the next round of Champions League?
Because we're still in the same spot next season. But we're not in the same spot next season in terms of where our clubs are actually at. If we're going to be sat there on Thursday night, Arsenal are already thinking about the Champions League quarter-final. You're watching Casemiro trundling around trying to get through Sociedad.
He's not wrong.
You're not going to be sat there.
That's true.
You're not going to be sat there on Thursday night thinking, wow, at least we're not Arsenal.
Well,
whereas I'll be sat there thinking, at least we're not United.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, what's the point in being second every year?
Because you're getting close to coming first.
But you could closer's not good enough. You've got to actually get there, haven't you?
Well, get over the line.
You've got to get over the line.
Even last season, to be fair, this was a thing when we finished 8th and you finished second again, and we won the FA Cup, and it was like who's had a better season. And it feels like, look, for me, listen, 14th was a disgrace.
I mean, we can't talk flex.
It's an absolute disgrace, and I always like to wind Arsenal fans up with this because it's just funny. Yeah, realistically, the truth is, they're probably right. Yeah. I'll be honest, because we're 14th, mate.
Yeah.
And we've been winning cups for the last 2 years at the expense of being a really bad football
That's the
team.
thing. We've had that period of winning FA Cups and finishing eighth.
But then you get the criticism now of, well, you phased this, you phased that. Since he's ripped up the team and rebuilt it in his image, Arteta, what have you done?
When we won the FA Cups, no one gave us flowers for it. They just said, well, you haven't doing anything in the league. When we didn't qualify for Champions League, you're never going to get there. When we get there and come second, well, you bottled it. And then when we come second again, well, you're still not done it. Well, the other teams are not bad. That Man City team is not bad.
Let's be honest before we wrap up, right? This is the first time in my lifetime, because when we went down last time in the 70s, obviously, I wasn't here. I wasn't around. Honestly, at this point of the season, whether it's realistic or not, I had to look at the bottom three, like, seriously.
See the gap?
I had to, and I'm being deadly serious. I'm going, don't need Ipswich picking up a win against Spurs. Don't need Wolves getting a win against them. Don't need this, don't need that. Until it started to be like, okay, we'll be fine. For like a couple of match weeks, I was like, I'll tell you what, mate, that's going to get a bit dangerous. How are these not going to respond if they're already 6 points away from it? Do you know what I mean? So just for that alone, we've been a disgrace this year.
Oh, yeah.
But if we win that Europa, let me tell you something. That's going to change. That's all we've got time for on this week's episode of Inside There. Was a big thank you to Ryon Scott-Douglas, Clive Palmer and Rory Talks Football. We'll see you on another episode next week. Take care. Bye-bye.